Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Elite Season 7, featuring Splatterhouse WANPAKU Graffiti. I am Hans Buttface. This is episode number 8, and it will feature the conclusion of week number 3. After tonight's episode, all the bracket matches and relegation matchups will be revealed. We have 4 races remaining before the brackets begin. The first race will feature 2-0 Jam Evil versus 2-0 Edgestream. Both these players have made the brackets, but this match will determine who is seeded number 1 and who is seeded number 2. On commentary for this race, D-Pad Danny and Link Sevens.
Hello everyone, it's D-Pad Danny here with Link_777. Link, how you doing?
Doing well. What's going on, Danny?
Not too much, man. Here we have Edgestream versus Jam Eviler in the group Michael Myers. Both of these combatants are 2-0, so they're both already in the playoffs. But going in it for seeding, see who gets the number 1 seed, and we're off.
Right on. Well, I guess the first thing I notice here is who do you got, Team Green or Team Brown?
That's a tough call, man. Those are both pretty unappealing shades of those particular colors.
Yeah, that's it's amazing actually, the difference between the two.
Yeah, I think you've seen a lot of difference in quality and color gradients on a lot of these races, with so many people using so many different types of hardware and capture devices or emulators or what have you.
Oh, for sure.
And we got the pseudo thriller boss. It's one that everyone enjoys. Just a solid 1 minute of your run taken away from you.
Yeah, dueling Michael Jacksons.
Oh man, that was something.
Yeah, I think especially this early in the run, I think this is one thing that discourages me from running this game, is like you get a minute into the run and then you've got basically like a fixed time boss that you just have to, sit around for.
Now, would you compare it to Space Mountain in Adventures in the Magic Kingdom?
Probably a lot. Actually, I think this is probably easier, because I feel like you actually have to pay less attention to this, but...
That's fair, but just the tedious nature of it being so early in the game, I think, is,
Yeah.
as you said, it's kind of off-putting.
I mean, Space Mountain is longer, I think.
That's true. And both our runners are in the library, hacking away at the textbooks here. Now, the top of the books, do you see that as the lining, or do you see that as like an eyeball, like when they're coming out of the case? Because it looks like an eye to me.
Oh no, I think that's like the it's perspective, so you see like the top edge of the pages of the book. I think that's the depth, not like a character sort of thing.
I don't think I've ever seen it that way. I guess I just wasn't thinking about the perspective. We got Jam finishing up the Exorcist box, just a little bit ahead of Edgestream, who's having a little bit of trouble, but takes her down as well.
Yeah, they both kind of bobbled it, and I think Edge bobbled it a little more, but that's one I've struggled with, is trying to keep that thing pinned in the corner.
Yeah, I think with that one, well, I guess with the whole game and running in general, it's all about the consistency. We got Edgestream starting in on the chicken and kitchen knives. And Jam is not far behind.
this is a very strange boss to me.
No, wait. Jam took the lead. I must have missed that. I don't know how I did, but well, Jam takes the lead.
Yeah, he took the lead on the doll head.
Oh, that's right. That's right. See, that just happened a minute ago, and I already forgot about it. Trudging through the sewers, Jam jumping over the little spike things and chopping up what I assume are leeches.
I think this screen makes it look worse. Like, what do you take, green or brown sewage?
Well, at least with the green, there's an aspect of, well, maybe it's, you know, there's a slight chance I might walk out of here with superhuman powers.
Oh, that's a good point. Bottom route for Jam.
Yeah, I was just looking to see if Edge was gonna follow suit, and he does. Oh, Jam taking an unfortunate hit and having to take top strats as a backup. But it doesn't seem to set him back very far. I think in that situation, the biggest thing is to just not panic. It's easy to get kind of tilted when you jump up for what you think is going to be the hit, and then you get knocked back and have to do it again.
Yeah, that can be pretty frustrating because, you know, like you'll get the one that jumps high on you and you'll miss it, and you'll get sent back over and over, and then you'll start running short on health.
Right. It's easy to get frustrated at that point and slip up. So, Link, you know, I was thinking today that, you know, the game is called Splatterhouse WANPAKU Graffiti, which translates to naughty graffiti, as most people may know. But, you know, in playing this game as much as I have, and in watching as many runs as I have this season, I don't think I've seen a single piece of naughty graffiti anywhere in the game.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's more of a conceptual thing, like, you know, if you look at how they've treated some of the, you know, film properties and stuff, as opposed to an actual bits of graffiti on a wall.
So you're saying more like a faux pas or a taboo rendering of these properties, and that's what makes it naughty.
Just a guess, you know. Who knows?
No, I mean that's a good way of putting it. I like that a lot, actually.
In fairness, I didn't look for actual graffiti, so maybe there's some and I just didn't notice.
Spoiler, I did. I double-checked today, and there's not any bit of graffiti in the entire game. I think the closest thing is the abstract art that's in, like, 4 or 5 rooms of the game. And both runners are running through the streets, jumping over the very pink cockroaches. I think they both look pink on both screens.
You ever collect the bell there?
Collect the bell? I didn't know that was a thing.
That is absolutely a thing.
And what does that do for you? Does that benefit you in some way?
It like makes a sound when you collect it. I don't know that it actually gives you anything useful.
Huh. I wonder if anybody in the chat knows.
If you just wait around on that screen for a while, the bell like drops down out of the church.
That's really interesting. I did not know that. I don't think I've sat on that screen for very long. the GOAT boss here. Jam seems to finish a little bit ahead of Edge, but you know that gap is closing up pretty quick. It's turning into a pretty close race.
Yeah, I think Jam had some trouble getting the stun lock he was looking for. They also both dropped quite a bit of health there, so...
Jam taking a... Sorry, Jam taking a gun there. I think most people take the gun later on, where Edge took it there. It's interesting to see him go out for it. Or maybe it was a mishap to get it that early in the stage. Good clean fly fight for Jam and Edstream as well. At least both of those waters look pretty calming.
Yeah, the blues look pretty good. Maybe it's more purple.
I think it's got a little bit of both. Jam making it over the double spikes, and Edge following suit as well. That can be a tricky jump if you don't land on the dock quite right from the water the first go. Listen to me telling people things that they already know because they've already watched a ton of these races.
Yeah, I mean, need to find some things that people don't already.
Something that people may not know is those sharks actually taste like grape. Don't ask me how I know that.
Nice.
Jam rolling up into the fork boss. This is where everyone hopes for the easy 6 RNG, but I tend to get trolled towards the end, but you know.
The old fork ninja.
I like that. He's Mother Forker on my splits.
Makes sense.
And I think some bad RNG put Edge just a little bit further behind than he was before as Jam starts the next stage.
Yeah, there's still plenty of game for this to go either way, so...
Oh, absolutely. There's about 100 more chances to make little mishaps that can really hurt you this late in the game. Like this rising water stage, I don't know why, but sometimes I'll jump on it as it's transitioning from the one level to the next, and it'll kind of trip me up with a little short hop, and it'll completely throw me off. You ever experienced that?
No, I think the only issue I have in that screen is if I like full jump the one spike, then you know the timing gets thrown off, and then I can't make the last jump and take a hit or whatever. But
that's understandable. We got Jam Eviler coming towards the end of the stage here. See if he goes for bucket strat. Bucket strats.
Oh yeah. I think probably a lot of people are going bucket strats. I noticed I came in there one time with a huge amount of health and went, no, I don't need the bucket, and I like went all the way down to like 3 health or something like that. Like I probably should have had it anyway.
Oh, it can definitely happen quick, especially with the lack of iframes. There's Jam finishing off the wolf, and his Edge is still not too far behind.
Yeah, he's in a little trouble here with just 2 health and the bucket, but he's doing okay, I think.
And a nice finish by Edge.
Yeah, that can be a little scary even with the bucket if you come in there with low enough health.
So what do you think those little ball spooks are? Do you think they're just like wisps, or what do you think?
Which enemies are we talking about?
Oh, they're like little yellow balls with like black in the middle. You come across like 3 or 4 of them at the very end of the first screen in the first stage. Edge just came across some there on the bridge.
The bat things?
No, there's like little spoopy, nondescript spirit things. I don't know. Don't mind me.
I'm sure I should know, and then maybe it's an enemy that I don't really pay attention to.
That's fair. I think they only show up in those 2 areas of the game.
Oh no, I know which ones you're talking about. Yeah, I guess I don't know what it's supposed to be.
We got Jam going through the fly room, and I don't know why. Like, it seems like a lot of people have no trouble with that stage or with that part at all, but I always get tripped up. Like, I think every time I go in that room, I get hit at least once.
Oh yeah, I've gotten knocked around a few times anyway. It's not too bad, but it's the scream rooms that I struggle with more.
Yeah, I think that's probably overall the Elite Tournament's least enjoyed enemy in this game. Bosses not included.
How about this one? Have you stopped into the bathroom?
Man, my first, like, I don't know, 10 runs at least, 10 finished runs, proper runs, I think I ran in the bathroom every time, and I think my first 2 races I did it as well, and I don't know why. I think it was just the panic of trying to outrun the bats and just going in the first room that you hit and realizing, crap, I did it again.
That's pretty funny. It's like Jam's a few hits ahead here, so we'll see if he misses any cycles or anything. Otherwise, he's on pretty good pace here to take this one.
Right, I think it's going to take some pretty bad RNG to close that gap between Jam and Edge.
And they're both looking pretty good on health, so that shouldn't be an issue. But at least we get a disco party, so...
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's the best part of the run. All 16 hits and 1.5 to 2 some odd minutes of it.
And actually, you know, the funny thing is, because of recent experiences, that sort of like flashing effect is actually pretty easy to do in terms of like game programming.
Right, I would imagine it's just swapping out the layer or and just rotating through the different colored images behind the whatever.
Yeah, it's just the colors. You can just rotate the colors. Pretty cool.
Yep, that's them pumpkins. And Jam lands the final hit. Jam Evil are finishing first with a time of 18 minutes and 23 seconds. Again, Edgestream and Jam Evil are both in the playoffs, but this will just decide the seed. So that puts Jam Eviler as the number 1 seed.
And then there goes Edge. Still a pretty good race, though. You know, they were kind of nearly caught back up there for a little bit, and Jam managed to power through. So
absolutely, it was a very good race. Edgestream finishing with the Melvin hat at 18 minutes and 52 seconds. Good showing by both of these racers.
Yep, for sure.
Well, I don't think I have anything else to say. Link, you got any final words before we send it to Hans in the studio?
I think that's all from me. We can send it back. Later, everyone.
Thanks, Link. Back to you, Hans.
And at the end of group play in Group Michael Myers, Jam Evil will get the number 1 seed at 3-0. He will face the number 2 seed in Group Leatherface. That will be either Armageddon Time or Zarnax 42. That match is coming up later tonight. Edgestream loses, gets the number 2 seed in the bracket for Group Michael Myers. He'll be playing the number 1 seed Angry Larry from Group Leatherface. Similar situation here in the upper deck. Group Jason, Unos XX, and Buzz Thunder are both 2-0, both making the bracket round. This race will determine who the number 1 and number 2 seed in this group will be. And bringing you that action will be Nirm and Europe Sales.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Buzz Thunder versus Unos XX. Tonight, right now, Group Jason. I'm joined by Europe Sales. Hello, Europe Sales.
Hi, Nirm.
Told you I'd do it.
That was a pretty good introduction. I think I said it right when you said that you had the best introductions of all time.
I don't know about that. So with certain topics off the table by the admin committee.
If you have a spoon in your hand right now and you're putting it into a bowl, you are banned.
I don't. I just woke up, so... I mean, I've been watching this wonderful show the entire time. And boy, am I excited to commentate this race right here.
Here we are at Michael Jackson Boss, the only boss that you don't actually get to fight because he goes down in an elevator.
Yeah, what's up with that? He runs around, he dances, then he leaves, and you never see him again. Like, he just like, oh, that guy's too strong, I'm just gonna go away forever and wait for the next guy.
I really thought when I first played the game that he was going to be some type of main boss throughout the whole thing. No, it's just Pumpkin Boss. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, they kind of set him up for, like, stardom, and then he's just never there again. Disappointing.
Yeah, all he does is fire Deku Nuts or ping pong balls. Cat bells? They kind of look like cat bells. I'm not exactly sure what they are.
I think he's rocking out.
He has like that, I mean, he does kind of point his finger to the sky like he's a rock star. And look, like right there, he's posing right on the elevator. He's like pointing his finger to the sky. Alright, we're never gonna see him again.
Maybe he's just trying to count. Like he's got the one finger, and at the end he's got the 2 fingers. Maybe he's slowly but surely learning how to count.
He doesn't seem too disappointed that he didn't kill you either. He seems pretty happy. Tells you peace and love, and then he just goes away.
Alright, so Buzz Thunder, just a very tiny smidge ahead going into these books.
It's always exciting to see what's going to happen right when they reach the doll. Will the head get away? Will they both lock it into a corner? You know, anything can happen.
Interestingly enough, I think Unis's books are spawning faster than Buzz's. Nope, I'm wrong. No, I haven't quite figured out what makes things spawn quicker in this game, because I feel like the books, there's a lot of variance there, but I might just be crazy.
Oh, Buzz misses the head, Unis misses the head.
Ah, yes. High level play. Oh, man. Enos, what are you doing, buddy? You're in trouble.
So you always have to have the backup strat, which is you let the head come to you.
Oh, my goodness. That is a very unfortunate turn of events for Enos here.
No. He's setting up the RNG. It's pretty clear that this is clearly a manipulation of the game.
He's manipulating his seeding in the playoffs, as both of these players are 2-0. The winner will be the #1 seed, the loser, the #2 seed, but they will still progress to the playoffs. So maybe he scouted out the competition and he knows that a loss here gives him a more favorable matchup later on.
That's pretty crafty.
Sounds like a Enos kind of thing to do.
It's true. He's always kind of thinking one step ahead, right? He's kind of like a chess master of sorts for planning out speedrun.
I think he's very dedicated to what he does and his spreadsheets.
There's still a chance for Enos to catch up. If Buzz decides to take top route and then just gets hit over and over again by green mice, there is a chance he could catch up.
Oh, there's absolutely all kinds of places where Enos can make up some time here. It's definitely unfortunate, but if Buzz takes a death somewhere, they're even once again.
I'm not sure if I was watching correctly, but it looked like Eunice fell through the floor without jumping, but maybe again I am also crazy.
If you are off the ground even a little bit when the floor breaks, you can kind of drop straight down.
Well, Buzz gets first hit on green mouse.
Did go down below, taking the slow but sure route. And speaking of slow but sure routes, if you're stuck in traffic, or like your typical route to work, assuming you drive to work, which might be a bad assumption, do you stick with your one route despite like how bad traffic is, or do you put it into Waze and then like have Waze tell you where to go on the way?
I usually use the GPS to kind of give me an idea of where I'm going.
Yeah.
But the problem is that the GPS doesn't really update fast enough when somebody crashes their car probably 10 minutes ago as I'm driving towards them. So it's kind of like you're kind of rolling the dice of like, this is the best route 5 minutes ago, but the GPS couldn't update fast enough.
Gotcha.
But I guess in my city, there's just a lot of people that don't know how to merge into lanes. There's lots of merged lanes onto highways, and so there's just a lot of, not necessarily traffic accidents, but just people that can't merge. And then everyone is just kind of sitting on the interstate.
I see. That happens a lot, I think, everywhere you go.
Also noticing that I don't think anyone brought shotgun into the chainsaw fight or the spider fight.
Yeah, no shotguns here. Looking, I guess, from the spawn patterns, I'm not sure if it's a fast fight or a slow fight from Buzz. Like, so right now, they're spawning very quickly, but otherwise, like, sometimes it's just slow. Like, I don't understand what causes them to be fast or slow. I don't know if it's completely random or what.
This is my latest conspiracy theory about spiders. It's if the fight starts off where the spiders are just popping out as fast as possible at the very beginning, that means you're going to have a faster time getting out. If they start off slow at the very beginning of the fight, then you're going to be leaving the fight a lot slower. But then that doesn't really explain maybe if the spiders are going slower later in the fight. Can they go fast the entire time? I'm not sure. But Buzz is approaching the goat now, which is another kind of turning point for the game. Taking a death here would be very, very bad.
I actually had never died in practice to the goat until one of the other days where I died in practice to the goat. And like I just got so chained by these bats. Like every single bat that appeared I couldn't kill. Like actually Buzz is actually not trying to kill them at all. It's trying to kill them like extraneously. He's not spamming in the middle like people normally do. So that's interesting. But yeah, I got locked down by the bats and just chained and just died. So Buzz is playing with fire here.
And he does take a death on goats. Commentator's curse, I'm sorry.
And we have a race as Unos Double X has taken the lead over Buzz Thunder.
Yeah, the goat, you kind of want to take out all those birds or rats or whatever you want to call them, because you don't want them hitting you as you're trying to chain the goat in the corner. And I think that Buzz probably had the idea that maybe the last 2 or 3 flying things are the most important ones to kill, so that then he can chain the goat in the corner. But I mean, that might have been the idea that he was trying for.
Yeah, Unos really struggling here as well, down to 1 hit.
Yeah, he's gonna play it safe right there. He's gonna kind of jump and hit the goat so that it doesn't escape and then jump on top of him, which is a good move before, instead of dying.
Yeah, goat being pretty loud today, letting himself be known. And Buzz got beat up again on the second fight pretty well, but full health means he'll survive. Unos grabs a shotgun for the Flyman, and he'll be getting through stage 3 without too much trouble. Barring some crazy thing happening.
I mean, he could go through the second door if he really wanted to. I mean, there's nothing stopping him from doing that.
Well, did miss the final shot, but he's through.
I feel like Lake is kind of a level to... it's not super challenging, but in terms of trying to go fast, it can be very challenging with getting chained by... Are we calling them Mews now? Is that what we're calling them?
What?
The spiky things on the ground, I think everyone is calling them Mews, like Zelda 2 enemies.
I see. Sure.
You're not a Zelda 2 fan?
I am. I don't know. Brain didn't function for a second. It's okay.
It's okay. I didn't know the name of the guys in Death Mountain that have the axes. I just call them crazy axe murderer guys. And...
Alright, yeah. That's probably a better name for him anyway.
When I was a kid and I played Zelda 2, they were probably the hardest enemy for me when I first started playing the game, because they just scared me. They were like... They would run right towards you and just constantly try and attack you, and for me that was kind of hard as a kid.
Yeah, they're pretty relentless if you don't know how to, But I guess the big thing is you can't really block their axes, so you have to dodge, and dodging in Zelda 2 is not very easy.
Right, that early in the game, you don't have a lot of things going for you, so it's kind of hard to defend yourself. Meanwhile, Unos is doing Fork and Knife Ninja Boss, or however you want to call them. Everybody has their own special name for this boss, this horrible boss that will appear on the far left side of the screen when you're not ready.
It's gonna try and trick you somehow. It's only got like 5 hit points. I like stage 5, very execution heavy. Tough to go fast, but feels good when you do.
Yeah, I definitely like the summer camp level, just because you really have to show that you know how to play the game and know how to dodge. And there's just lots of tricks that you have to perform in this level. It's much more complicated than just holding the right button. You have to actually use the jump button as well.
Imagine that, more than 2 buttons.
Yeah, I mean, people call this game just holding right game, but sometimes you have to jump, and sometimes you gotta slash with the axe, and it's just really important when you do that.
In order to beat the game, you have to jump and sometimes stab. So far, so good, really, for both of our players. I haven't really seen too many egregious mistakes. Yunos flying right on through without too much trouble. Buzz pretty much right on his tail. Yunos gonna pick up the bucket.
It's always good to see somebody pick up the bucket. I always approve of bucket strats.
Yeah. Ultimately, this is actually a pretty close race. Yunos ahead, I don't know, 15, 20 seconds. Double bucket.
I think everybody got really nervous on Goat Boss and they decided that bucket was the way to go. No more shenanigans.
So from this point onward, if Yunos were to make a mistake, where do you think he would make it?
I definitely, if it's going to be a costly mistake, he has to fall in a hole somewhere. Like he has to mess up and fall at clocks or something like that. Also, I predict that Yunos is going to get grabbed by the bat in the mansion. That's what I predict.
Okay, the hot take.
All right, Nerm, where do you think the lead could change? So, but you know, while they enter the house, what's your spot?
I think I'm gonna go with the room before the final room with the gray alien splashbacker dude. I think there's going to be a death there. It's not going to be a costly one, but it's going to make things interesting.
You know, I understand when people say it looks like a pumpkin head or a pumpkin that's melted. I'm starting to I mean, when I first saw it, I thought it was an orange dinosaur, but I can see the melted pumpkin look now.
It's just a very strange thing to have. It's just weird looking pumpkin thing. And who's this guy? Like, you don't see this guy at all throughout the entire game. Then all of a sudden he's there with his little apparatus and he murders him. Game over.
I know that there are a lot of NES games that have boss gauntlets, but what I really enjoy about this game is that so you beat that cult dude, like you killed him as the goat. So, you know, every NES game has to kind of have their boss gauntlet, right? So instead of actually killing him again, he shows up as an NPC and then kicks you into a dinosaur, Pumpkinhead.
I 100% didn't realize that was the goat guy.
Yeah, right before he's the one that's summoning the birds.
Yeah.
And then he steps into the pentagram, then he becomes the goat. So this is kind of this game's way of saying this is the boss gauntlet. Not really. Oh, I think Nerm won. Yunos is getting bodied right now by screamers.
I did say he was going to take a death, and that didn't happen. But he's got 5 points of health going into the Pumpkin King.
So there's still a chance that Yunos can get trapped in a corner with a pumpkin. I don't even know what you call them. Little pumpkin dudes that are on the ground.
Pumpkin seeds, maybe?
Little happy pumpkin seeds that bounce off the screen. I don't know. There is still a chance that he can get chain stunned by those things. So you never know what's gonna happen.
Yep, any death here would definitely be the end of either race. So could happen.
I don't think I remember anyone so far from the races I've seen. I don't think I've seen anyone yet die on the final boss. I can't remember really. I think everyone has made sure to not just flub it up and kind of die on this boss. Maybe there was somebody, but I can't exactly remember.
Yeah, that definitely never happened at all to anyone.
No, I don't think so. I don't think anyone would want to go through the 2.5 minute fight again while people are watching. I mean, nobody would do that.
Yeah. Who would be so terrible to have such a thing happen? Definitely no one.
This is also your reminder that if you have not been paying attention to the race right now, you have no idea who's winning. It could be anybody.
It's true. You just tune in right now, you're like, oh man, who's winning? And we're not going to tell you.
It's neck and neck, people. This is anyone's game right now.
Neck and neck, necking. Even health. Well, Unos took a hit to make it not even health bars, but yeah, there he is. Unos is done.
And with that seizure warning flashing through your screen, Unos XX comes in with a time of 18:37.
Congratulations to Unos 20. He will be moving on to 3-0 and will be the top-seeded player from Group Jason. Meanwhile, Buzz Thunder finishing up, really made up a little bit of ground at the end, but not good enough. 18 minutes, 57 seconds. He'll move to 2-1, second seed for Group Jason. He's got the Melvin hat.
So, I don't think anyone's talked about this, but who's that guy that looks like he has a butt for a face with the sunglasses?
I think... I'm trying to think, what does he look like? He looks kind of like a Geodude.
I don't know. Apparently, he's a Geodude that can smoke cigarettes, but... Well,
I mean...
I think... Yeah.
That's where we're going with Pokemon, right? We got this edgy movie coming out that's all, like, adult-related. And not necessarily, like, adult, but more of a updated theme. And yeah, you just gotta smoke cigarettes with your Geodude.
Well, I think that we're done here. Any last words before we head back to the studio?
I think both runners here didn't have the run that they really wanted to have, and so whoever their opponent may end up being in the playoffs is probably pretty excited to see this, and should be interesting to see as the rest of the playoffs play.
Yeah, I definitely feel that both of these runners had some mistakes that they really did not like, and that for any other, I think that whenever they face their next opponents, they're gonna be training a lot harder for the next race.
No, alrighty. Before Uno starts whatever he's doing, we're going back up to the booth.
Unos gets the number 1 seed in Group Jason, moves on to 3-0. Buzz Thunder, number 2 seed at 2-1. He'll face Coach Crab in the first round of the brackets. Coach Crab is the number 1 seed in Group Freddy. The number 2 seed, well, that has yet to be determined. The winner of the Nearm versus D-Pad Danny race coming up later on tonight will determine who plays Unos XX in the first round. See, Dark Magician here has the second best average in Group Jason. Could possibly be, at this time, the second best average in the whole tournament. But you know what that isn't? That is not the first best average. And speaking of, let's go on to something special here with Dark Magician 1184 and Dig Shake.
Hello everybody, I am the professional Dig Shake, joined by Dark Magician for this King of the Knob race. How you doing, DM?
I'm doing okay. I'm looking at some watermarks, or at least one.
Yeah, so this is already a better race than most of the ones that we see here. How do we get here, DM? What series of events led us to this King of the Knob championship race?
So, anybody new who wasn't around last season, we played this game. It's called Kingdom Hearts 3. I don't know the real. What's the real name? What's the name of this game?
Adventures in Magic Kingdom.
All right, so we played the Adventures in Magic Kingdom last season, which is this game where you walk around Disney World and you answer questions wrong, like Larry just did.
Yep. It wasn't even the one that he always gets wrong.
Yeah, it wasn't even about Goofy and horses either. So I don't get it. But so we played this tournament last season and Buzz ended up on top somehow. And Larry didn't like that. Actually, I think it was I originally challenged, or BGT, and then Larry just jumped in on it at the last second.
Yeah. Well, BGT, who I believe is still the current world record holder in this game.
Oh, that's what it was. It was BGT and Unos, who were both grinding world records at the time.
Yeah.
And Larry was like, yeah, you know what? I'm not doing anything. I'll go ahead and play this with them because, you know, I'm third place in the Chaos Tournament.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they raised former world record holder, current world record holder, and some
Larry.
guy who supposedly had the best record, or the best average time last season. I don't
Buzz
know.
had the best average time last season.
We haven't seen the stats. These are all being held by Hans Buttface, and he just won't share this information. I think it'll expose him, and that's why he's scared to do it. But we'll see what happens.
Well, Larry's spotting Buzz the head start. You know, he's got the fastest average time. He's like, yeah, whatever. I'll get a question wrong. Let Buzz take a little bit of a lead because planning to catch up later, I guess. I don't know.
So Larry somehow came out ahead against those world record holders.
Yeah,
And-
by a lot actually. Unos and BGT both really dropped the ball in that race, and Larry. It's kind of like that ice skating Olympics match. Have you seen that one where like the whole crowd falls, and then the one guy who was just kind of chilling in the back cruises through, gets the gold medal? That's kind of what happened.
That's great.
That's what happened in the race.
So win by default. That's what everybody likes to see.
Yep. And we're cruising through space right now. This is you know, this is part of the game that people have to play.
Yeah, so Buzz makes it through. It's not hard to make it through here. It's the same thing every time.
Yeah.
And they go race cars now.
Autopia, man, I don't miss playing this at all.
So I gotta say that blue car is probably the car that reminds me most of my childhood. Like I had a little toy car that looked like that. It was an Indy car, I guess. Did you play with toy cars a lot?
I had some Hot Wheels, yeah. My older brother used to smash them with a hammer, so I had to like make sure to hide them or, you know, just play with them as much as I could before he would bust out a hammer and smash them.
Yeah, we used to recommend to each other. I remember we got all our toys cars taken away from us though because we used to take baths together because I had 6 brothers, so
Wow.
I mean we had to conserve water. And I was like 5 or 6, but we took our toy cars into the bathtub and completely destroyed the finish. And so we got those taken away from us for like a year.
Yeah, I as a 30-some-odd-year-old man, I can say that if somebody destroys the finish on my bathtub, I'm gonna light them up. That is not cool.
Hey, you just had that redone.
I did. Yeah, you want to hear about a bathtub? Ooh boy. I got mine reglazed. It is so nice. It feels so good on your butt. Like oh god.
It's not like that plastic junk that you get nowadays.
Buzz went the wrong way out of that Autopia for like a couple tiles. I don't know, but letting Larry back into it a little bit.
It was a BGT manipulation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you just walked the wrong way for no reason.
Yeah.
So we got these guys answering dumb questions again, running around the park.
And looks like they got them right, so no more wrong questions since that first one. Got a few more to go here before they head into, what is it, the haunted house? That's what's next?
No, they go to the pirates.
No, the
first.
pirates. The pirates first, yeah.
Yeah, it's
You
been
can
so
tell
long.
that I've played this game a lot since we stopped the tournament. Like a whole bunch. Actually, I did play it exactly one time for the Edge 20, exclamation point Edge 20.
Yeah, it's a good competition going on. I need to submit more times, but I've been busy doing actually some of my own stuff, so.
I basically don't care what else comes up in the Edge 20 because I'm just going to keep playing Gauntlet for the rest of my life.
Yeah, it's an interesting game. Lots of RNG. It looks like Larry's closed his gap though.
Yep, he sure has. This is a real close race.
I don't know how much of that was Buzz walking the wrong way, and how much of it is just Larry being efficient.
He only walked the wrong way for a few tiles, but, you know, Larry, he wasn't that far ahead anyway, and he also bonked the walls a couple times in Autopia, which, you know, costs you a few seconds every time. So...
Yeah, I always weep when I see that Mercado on fire.
Larry missed the ladder. I don't know what happened there, but he just walked right past it. Doing a good job at this part, though. Dodging those. Is he throwing gold? Is that what he's throwing?
I guess. I mean, it's a skeleton standing in a treasure pile, so I mean...
Kind of look like coconuts, maybe?
Who knows what it is?
Let's see if any of them get the trick that's named after Larry.
Yeah, the Larry light. Buzz does not, but it looks like Larry did.
Well, I mean, he'd be shamed forever if he didn't get the trick that he invented.
All it saves is, what, like half a second from you jumping into the boat?
Yeah, but with as close as this race is, you know, that could actually make a difference. We'll see.
Well, you say close, but Larry tried to go for the modified task jump, and he was too slow and got caught by the idiot, and he's going to get caught again, maybe?
Just became the 1000th ghost.
So Buzz has a huge lead here. It's wrong station or a death, basically.
Yeah, that's really all it takes. In this game with 2 players this good, one mistake like that didn't cost that much time, but doesn't take much to determine the outcome of a race.
The other potential is a question. Getting one of those wrong, especially the last ones.
Yeah, since you got to do 2 of them back to back. Yep.
But looks like Buzz is taking the chairs casually. Larry's going for all the fastest strats.
Those chairs, man.
See if he does task jump. Nope.
It's a risky move because if you fall in the pit on that one, that's a huge time loss.
Yeah, I think that's maybe the time loss that costs Unos the knob.
Yeah, it feels like more of a PB strat than a race strat to me, but I am terrible at this game, so I shouldn't really be saying stuff like that. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I didn't have the best average last season, so I have no room to speak of strats.
Alright, I'm about to fight a ghost here.
Buzz gets a decent spawn time. And a low spawn, so that's faster. See what Larry gets.
I like the floating candle swag.
Yeah, the swag candles. That's what led to the Larry light.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, he tried to swag candle the campfire, and he ended up getting a Larry light instead.
Well, Larry also had a pretty good ghost. Buzz gets the 4th station, which is the easiest one, I think.
Yeah, you power through one of these things, and then you just you walk away.
Yeah. So Buzz is gonna have to miss a question, or I don't know, his thumb's gonna have to fall off or something.
Yeah, this is home stretch.
I missed which station Larry got. Did you see?
I didn't pay attention. I never do. Even when I play, I never pay attention.
Well, we'll see soon enough. You don't pay attention, you're just like, yeah, whatever, I'm gonna Plinko it and hope I get the right one.
Oh, exactly.
That's the best game on The Price is Right, I think. What's your favorite Price is Right game?
I'm gonna be cliche and say it's the cliffhanger.
The cliffhanger with the yodeler guy?
Yeah, purely for the yodeler.
Yeah.
Although Hole-in-One is a decent one too.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick. What's the one where they have to like punch the holes?
Punch Out?
Is it called Punch Out? That's not.
I don't know.
There's one where there's like a wall and they have to punch holes and pull out whatever the prize is. I forget what it's called. That's a good one too. Buzz though, finishing up. Got a 1014.
And Larry's
Oh.
Larry's showing that he doesn't even know the name of Mickey's dog.
There's Goofy. You got Mary Poppins though.
So Buzz defends the crown.
Buzz remains king of the knob. Larry gets a Melvin hat for his troubles. Puts up a 1036, which is still better than I think any time I put up in this game. So probably not happy about that. But it was a good race actually. It was close.
It was
All the way
close.
through.
It came down to that Larry missing that jump on the ghost. That's
Yeah.
basically the difference that we see
Well,
here.
2 questions too. If he hadn't missed those 2 questions, he could have still missed the jump on the ghost and maybe still been really close. I don't know. But yeah,
That's gonna wrap that up.
that is going to wrap that up, and I believe enough time has elapsed to where somebody could challenge this game again. So if you are interested in doing so, be sure to shout out on Discord.
Yeah, it's anybody who was part of the elite before or part of the elite now.
I think that's going to wrap it up for us. You got anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, let's throw it back to the booth.
And unfortunately, Buzz Thunder does defend his King of the Knob championship in the Season 6 game, The Adventures in the Magic Kingdom. He has 1 total defense. Remember, if you have been involved in elite tournaments, whether it was Season 1 or Season 7 or anything in between, you have the right to challenge any of these knobs for their championship. Go into the Discord, go into the knob channel, and slap somebody with a pair of gloves. And you could be King of the Knob. Coming up next week, we'll have the qualifier for the Season 5 game, Tiny Toon Adventures. Let's get back to the splatterhousing. As promised, Armageddon Time versus Zarnax 42 is a race that's going to determine who makes the brackets and who gets put in the relegation race. Your commentators for this race are Bentglass Tube and Nirm.
Hello, ladies and gents. We've got Group Leatherface, Armageddon Time against Zarnax 42. I am joined by the Bentglass Tube. Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Not too much, not too much. This is a pretty important race here.
Yeah, that's what I hear. The winner gets to go to the playoffs and try to maybe dig themselves out of the bowl that they're in right now. And the loser gets nothing.
Loser gets less than nothing. They get put down into the relegation race.
Oh, even worse.
So we've got Zarnax running through the nice green fields, whereas Armageddon Time did not reset to start off, so he's actually going to start out a little bit behind because he's not using the newly discovered.
Yeah, so I guess his emulator doesn't have reset. Go figure. It's one of the many perils of playing games on a Mac, I guess.
What kind of emulator doesn't have a reset button?
I really couldn't answer that question. That's what he told me.
Does he just not see it? I don't know.
No, like it has a reset button, but it always emulates a hard reset. So like you can't continue afterward.
Okay, that's awful.
Yeah. I don't know what emulator it is, but you know we don't need to shame him here, other than shaming Arma for playing on a Mac.
Yeah, I think there might be a BizHog build for Mac. We'll talk to him after this. Get him into the year 2018.
No doubt. But on the plus side, he has that fluorescent green zombie color, which is pretty nice.
It's true. Some very vibrant clothes on the left side there.
But yeah, not too much to say about the first level. The tutorial stage, as it were.
So having played this game as much as you have, are you sick of hearing Thriller? or do you still enjoy it?
I mean, like, there's not anything to talk about in the game, so all there is filler.
Thriller, not
Oh,
filler.
thriller. Yeah, it doesn't really bother me. I don't know. I guess it's so early in the game, I forget about it all the time.
Neutral on the thriller, I see. So, burgers. If you can get a burger right now from a fast food restaurant, specifically fast food, it can't be a sit-down restaurant, where would you go?
I'd go to Five Guys for sure.
Fast, I would not consider Five Guys fast food. Let's say a place that has a drive-through.
Okay. See, for me, it's fast food because you pay before you eat. That's the cutoff.
I could see that.
But
Yeah,
I can
okay,
see
that
that
makes
that's like a medium fast food, not outright fast food. So fast food. That's a good question. If there were Culver's here, I would go there, but there aren't.
What? Culver's is gross, man.
No, I like Culver's, dude. They got those cheese curds.
They do have cheese curds, but
It's an amazing.
the rest of it's just pure grease, man.
Yeah, it's butter. Everybody likes butter.
I
But,
like
we got the
meat,
In-N-Out
not butter.
here, which In-N-Out is also a good option for a fast food burger.
Okay, never ask BGT about burgers, ladies and gentlemen.
What is your choice for burgers?
I
Or chicken,
do.
for that matter.
Oh, chicken's a different story. I'm actually pretty picky about chicken. I would say Whataburger is a good, decent fast food burger choice.
Man, I haven't been to Whataburger in years.
Yeah, a nice, solid choice. But as far as chicken goes, I don't normally order chicken all that much, and I'm typically not a fan of like the Chick-fil-A and that kind of like the special chicken places. So I don't know. That's a tough one.
Yeah, when I was in college, I was a big fan of the spicy chicken sandwich from Jack in the Box, but I haven't had one since then. I imagine it's not actually very good, and it's just the college age taste buds that made me enjoy that one.
I haven't had Jack in the Box in like 5 years, and I am like perfectly okay with that.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
Does Wendy's have like a chicken sandwich? I feel like they do.
Yeah, they do. It's, I mean, like, I feel like all fast food chicken sandwiches are about equal, you know?
You prefer like the fried chicken or like the grilled chicken?
Oh, I like fried chicken better than grilled for sure. I don't want anything healthy.
Yeah, I guess if you're going for fast food, you might as well go for broke. Arma finishing up stage 2, Zarnax right behind, both went bottom route in the water.
Onyx having some difficulty climbing the ladder at the end of stage 2 there.
It's always really awkward because one step is like a full jump and the rest of them are like half jumps. And if you're not paying attention, you do the half jump and you're just like...
And you're like, the guy designing that was just really proud of himself. Like, people are gonna get to this part and think it's, smooth sailing climbing up these stairs, but nope, you better pay attention.
Alright, Zarnax has a shotgun for these chainsaws. It'd be pretty easy to clear them out. But I do believe Arma got through all the chainsaws with his axe and double killed them all, and so it doesn't need no stinking shotgun.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive chainsaw kill from Arma. The first one's not too bad. Like, you can always get in the position the little floor guy doesn't interfere with you too much. And of course, the second time you fight the chainsaws, there's no opportunity for a shotgun. So I kind of think you might as well learn to do it with the cleaver and just, save that little bit of time getting the shotgun.
Arma taking a couple hits from these spiders. We're at equal health now on both sides here, though Arma with a little bit of a time advantage.
Yeah, both players opting to stay on the floor and kill the spider. Seen some players jump up and kill him. Seen some players jump over him and not kill him at all.
What is your preferred method of spider disposal?
I like to jump up and kill him, just as otherwise this fight is super boring. So like just having more buttons to press makes it more interesting, I guess. I don't know.
Well, Zarnax heard you and killed the last one with a jump.
Perfect. I'm glad he's listening in. Yeah, this last stage of the streets is always really frustrating. Like, if you get hit once, it seems like you get off rhythm and just, you can get beat up pretty badly.
Yeah, definitely a little rough getting through that one section where there's just like 8 enemies right in a row, and they're all, you have the trash cans to deal with too. It's just like, it's all kinds of things that just stagger you.
Yeah, you get stuck on the trash cans, and like Sonic has a shotgun. That's interesting. I haven't seen too many people do shotgun strats in this stage.
Actually had a practice run earlier where every single bat that spawned I killed.
Oh, that's incredible. Like,
and then
as it was spawning?
Yeah, and then I choked the fight and didn't lock them down.
Of course, you know. One thing goes well and something else won't. Zarnax really holding on to that last shotgun shot, trying to kill a bunch of bats, and unfortunately doesn't really capitalize on it.
A little bit of a rough fight, yeah.
This is another difference I see players do. Some people like to do the jump swipe attacks when they got the ram cornered, and some like to just spam cleaver on it.
I've never actually been able to lock him down on the left side, so I'm really impressed Arnax was able to do that. So more power to him.
Yeah, Arma almost missed a shotgun going into the fly fight here. That would have been quite problematic.
Definitely speeds things along. You ever seen those like electric fly swatters? Like you put like two D batteries in them, and then you swing and hit something, and it just shocks the shit out of them like a bug zap.
Yeah, like it looks like a little badminton racket.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are fun. We always used to take those camping because, like, you know, there's not a whole lot to do when you're camping. So finding creative ways to murder bugs was a good pastime.
Did you ever like take a stick and like shove it in there to catch the stick on fire?
No, we didn't do that, but after some beverages, we sometimes, you know, would take dares on putting them on your face.
Your face?
Yeah, of course.
Not like a finger or other appendage, but your face.
No, right on the face. I don't think I ever had enough drinks to partake in such a dare, but it was fun to observe.
I see. Arma getting a little beat up. He did miss a jump, and that's going to cost him a lot of time. Any extra swimming you have to do is a surprising amount of time lost.
Yeah, it really slows you down there, but he was still a little bit ahead of Zarnax here going into the sharks.
So do you think the sharks are more or less boring than the spiders?
I don't know, like the sharks are shorter, so that doesn't bother me. Plus, like, I'm looking forward to fighting this boss after the sharks. Not even really paying attention to the sharks. I'm just like, oh man, fork demon's coming up.
Fork demon. What do you think his preferred fast food restaurant is?
Oh man, that guy eats at McDonald's for sure. Come on. Look how hungry he is. He's not waiting around to find a better option. He's taking whatever he sees first, and you know it's going to be McDonald's.
But would you eat McDonald's with a fork?
If I was a fork demon, yeah.
Well, you know, that's why you're not a fork
guy.
Demon.
Yeah, exactly. You know, us mere mortals, we can't comprehend this strategy for McDonald's. It's beyond us. When I first started running this, I really hated the forest levels because they're hard. But like now they're the most satisfying part of a run. If you get a good forest stage, it feels so nice.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of execution to do, and Zarnax taking an intentional death as he was down to 1 point of life, and Armageddon time flying on through.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I have run into those spikes that Zarnax used for his intentional death every single time. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm sure it wasn't a bummer to take a death there with only 1 health, but I would have taken that death intentional or not.
Yeah, I feel like it's like frame perfect or something to get over that without getting hit in some regard, so it's definitely a tough jump regardless.
Yeah, and I just like never, for some reason, I can remember like when you have to jump instead of going right to climb up over the spiders, but I can never remember that room I have to jump right away. This the Teen Wolf, Warren Zevon, whatever you want to call him. This is one of the bosses I struggle with the most in this game. It's just really easy to get into the chain hits from the little balls that he shoots around.
Yeah, and speaking of balls, Zarnax going into this fight without the bucket, and he was already low on hit points, so he's got to be real careful here.
Yeah, it's that would have been really cool to see him pull it off, but unfortunately he takes that bop.
That's gonna put Arma pretty solidly in the lead here. We'll take a fall maybe, or a Pumpkin King death in order to close the gap here.
Yeah, those are, both certainly possibilities. It's easy to fall in any number of the places in this lap. He gets through the bridge though. That's another one that's pretty easy to mess up. So we have him entering the house at 1411. Let's see how far behind Zarnax is.
Also might have accidentally entered the door. That would have been very bad.
Yeah, that would have cost quite a bit of time. Arma onto the more difficult chainsaw fight and doing pretty well so far.
I actually feel like this one is easier than the first one because I feel like the first attack you can always get a double on, whereas the first one that's not necessarily the case.
Yeah, I guess that sometimes they like split up strangely on the first one. But Zarnax entered at like 1452, so he's just about 41 seconds behind.
Yeah, Arma took a lot of damage in that weird fly room.
That's one of the several rooms that I never really figured out, the good way to get through.
I always just mash B, hold right, take the damage.
Yeah, holding right, you end up bouncing in the fires, I believe, which is probably fine. Zarnax makes quick work of the chainsaws as well. Arma almost through all of the possibilities of falling.
Does take a lot of damage to the splashbackers, and he is going to grab a nice refreshing soda pop.
Yeah, it's not quite enough time to let Zarnax catch up, but it's easy to get bodied on this last fight. It's still up in the air.
What's the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard soda called in like actual conversation, not somebody trying to be funny?
I find it a little ridiculous in the southern U.S. that they call all soda Coke, but I haven't really heard anything besides like soda pop is probably the most like silly thing I've heard that someone legitimately was calling it that.
You've never heard like soda water or fizzy water?
I mean, like, I will use the word soda water to describe something that's just carbonated water.
Well, yeah, but like calling like Pepsi soda water.
No, I've never heard anyone call it that. When I worked at a gas station in college, though, I did have a customer ask me where the automatic ATM machine was.
Damn. The double.
Yeah, the double was rare.
Did you automatically tell them where to go?
No, but I told them that they would have to enter their personal PIN number into it. I don't think they understood that I was making fun of them, but, you know, what are you going to do? See, both these players doing pretty well on the last boss fight here. It's interesting how like the spawns don't ever change, you know, so you can just memorize where he's going to be every time.
Does make it a little less interesting than it could be, I suppose. And Armageddon Time has defeated the Pumpkin King.
Yeah, and barring his emulator crashing, you know, it looks like he'll be the winner here. But you never know, he is on a Mac.
Well, he's the Mac Daddy today. 1820, your winner, Armageddon Time. Moving on to the Bowl Promotion Race.
Amazing stuff. Will we see Arma back in the upper deck? We're going to have to tune in for a few more weeks to find out. And Zarnax is not too far behind. Imagine if those that spray of little pumpkins at the end could hurt you.
That would make it much more interesting.
I think I would have rage quit this game a lot more times if that happened.
And we've got Zarnax finishing up 1902, earning himself a Melvin hat and a spot in the relegation race. Getting flushed out of the bowl, potentially. You'll have to stay tuned to find out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the excitement in the coming weeks. But I think for now we can send it back to Hans Buttface in the studio. Thanks for hanging out in New York.
Thank you.
And with that win, Armageddon Time is going to move into the brackets, taking on the #1 seed in Group Michael Myers, Jam Evil, in the first round. Zarnax 42 will join Random Effect, Dig Shake, and Puke 7 in the 4-way relegation race, where the top 2 finishers remain in the bowl and the bottom 2 finishers get flushed to the cesspool. And here's our last race of the evening, D-Pad Danny versus Nierm. And this race will also have the winner making the bracket round, and the loser being put in that division's relegation race. On commentary will be Armageddon Time and Buzz Thunder.
Hello, everybody. It's Armageddon Time here once again for another elite race in, what is this game, my co-commentator?
This game is called Splatterhouse WANPAKU Graffiti. Did I say it right?
You want a what?
I want a WANPAKU. WANPAKU. All right. This is D-Pad Danny versus Nierm. And I believe there are some actual stipulations to this race. By the way, D-Pad, it looks like he didn't do the reset strategy, so Nierm is off to a little bit of an advantage right from the beginning.
I see, yeah, he's definitely taking an interesting strategy and giving those extra couple seconds, but you never know, maybe it'll pay off in the long run.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works with the seed and how different things can go, but...
You know, that's something I never even considered, that in doing that continue thing at the beginning, if it actually changes how some of the spawns are, but so much of this is actually pretty scripted. Like, look at this.
I did notice that when I first switched over to the reset strategies that the books were spawning differently, but that was the only thing I actually noticed. But yeah, that's right. look at this. We have Thriller.
Did you notice that they had very similar dances? I gotta commend the both of them. It's almost synchronized.
Yeah, I didn't realize we're supposed to give him like a points, like 3 out of 5 dig shakes for D-pad Danny there. Good dance.
I'd have to give the same 3 out of 5 dig shakes to Nirm for very similar, yet making it his own.
I do think that that rating scale, actually, the higher the number, the more the dig shakes, the worse it was.
Well, then we're almost even, Steven. I mean, maybe a 2.5 dig shakes, just to keep things fair.
Yep. All right, our runners here, D-pad and Nirm, they are pretty much dead even as far as gameplay is concerned. Really, that's just the reset is the only difference that you see there on the screen. So
yeah, I mean, if you subtract the 2.5 seconds for the beginning there, then they're pretty much on par.
Yep. And here we go to the library with the books. So both of our runners here are 1-1 in the Freddy group, and this is winner go home.
Yeah, this is pretty much whoever wins this gets into the bracket, and whoever loses has gotta curl up with a good book. But it looks like there won't be any left after this. Too many books in the kitchen, if you ask me.
That is correct. We're out of books. The loser will have to go into the 4-way relegation race and potentially be flushed down into the bowl, or I guess that would be the refill of the bowl. I know I heard people talk about this earlier, but
yeah, I'm not really sure what the proper nomenclature is, but it looks like Nirm got the quick kill, but the D-pad Danny luckily making it out alive.
Yeah, I mean, decent fight. It's hard to get that quick kill, but it is a huge advantage. That's really what can put an entire run, aside.
Yeah, I mean, 1 or 2 little mess ups, and if the other person at least just plays competently, that could be the deciding factor, even this early on.
We got a couple of knife fights here. I don't know if that's Mom's knife. That would be cheating. For all you Isaac fans out there. And headless chickens. I didn't realize they didn't have heads until recently.
Oh, I thought they were just fully cooked chickens. I never really gave much view to the sprite. Then again, I really never gave much view to anything, am I right?
Unfortunately, that might be true. But it looks like D-pad just gained a whole bunch of ground, and all of a sudden he's in the lead. Could that be that RNG? Because I didn't really see anything, unless I missed, near do something wrong in an earlier room or something. But
I don't know.
D-pad's out in front all of a sudden.
Maybe in the knife fight, maybe he was avoiding the knives occasionally, and when they both come down at you really got to hit both of them, otherwise it's going to set you back a couple seconds while you wait for them to come around again.
It's a pretty big swing right there of about 10 seconds, but we're down here in the sewers. We got some mews, some rats, some leeches, slugs. What are those things?
Not sure. Did you ever really listen to Muse back in the day?
I did, yes. I had an album. I can't really remember much about it. They were one of those far out bands.
I don't know why I even brought that up, because we got quite a bit of a race here, as we both have sewage strats, dual sewage strats.
Definitely the way to go in a race situation as far as I'm concerned, just due to consistency.
Believe me, when it comes to races, I'd rather take a sure thing than maybe take the risk. But then again, that's just how it goes.
And pretty much dead even. Looks like D-pad might have about a 1 second lead here. And we get in these little tricky street trick-or-treat areas.
Yeah, going through Deviltown, either once you get it down, it actually feels pretty satisfying to make your way through Deviltown. But if you don't, if you're just trying to, scrape by the seat of your pants, then it can become very devastating.
It looks like D-pad missed the first cycle of the chainsaws, and actually Nir might be able to I think he just went out in the lead because of that. So we got a lot of little tiny minuscule. Actually, yeah, that lead is Niram's, but it's it's only about a half second. So we're trading tiny jabs here.
But you never know. At the very end, it could be a tiny jab that sways it one way or the other. I mean, you saw the difference that knife fight made.
Yeah, big difference, and we'll see if there is. I hear people talking about RNG in this fight from Spider Broad. Sigourney Weaver.
All I see is my worst nightmare, so hopefully they can get through this part as quickly as possible. And yet, it seems there's like, what, a sway of about 7 seconds for RNG?
That's a possibility, from what I've heard people.
Or
So
maybe
you're scared
it was
of
like 7
face-
spiders, I'm not sure.
Oh, 7 spiders, okay. I think they're face huggers if we're really gonna do the whole alien thing.
Yeah, but from a perspective of leaning, if I lean back enough, yeah, they do look pretty spidery.
All right, this is, in my opinion, the trickiest screen in the game to get through smoothly. Niram did take a little bit of a bop there, get knocked back. D-pad
one
takes a
thing about-
bop in the same place.
Yeah, the one thing about those Devil Town sections is if you do take a hit, you can just get chain hit afterwards. But if you know when to jump, when to slash, it's just smooth as butter.
All right, and here we are into the multi-denominational church. With the
Maybe
hooded
it's like
guy
a
coming,
Church of Life Day, perhaps.
oh, sure, whatever you want to call it. As long as it's got candles and symbols and stuff like that, I think it qualifies as a.
Maybe it's just a
As
really
a tax
dolled-up
deduction.
community center.
Yeah, it could be that too. I know that there's coffee and donuts in the basement after the goat fight.
I can smell them from here, but it smells a lot of goat as we see 2 goat bosses, which are very furious fight. It's always just like a big ol' scrap.
Yeah, one of the more difficult areas in the game. Kind of like the, the not poltergeist, the exorcist fight. You really just want to get it cornered as quickly as possible and get rid of all those bats to take it out quickly. But, decently clean for both of our runners. And Niram
Hopefully we have-
is out to a little bit more of a lead. They both get the shotgun.
I was just about to say, hopefully they both pick up the shotgun, because you don't pick up the shotgun, that is a huge time dump.
And here's
Biggest
the.
dump.
This is the second Vincent Price reference in the game. The Fly.
Oh yeah, back to the original The Fly.
Yeah. But you got the shotgun easy, no problem there. And Niram
Yeah, I guess
extending his lead
everybody,
just a little bit.
goes back to the Jeff Goldblum The Fly, but people forget that was technically a remake.
It's funny because if we're talking about reboots and remakes of movies nowadays, because that happens a lot and people don't realize it. They're like, oh, they're remaking that again, and it's like, but the one that they think is the original might actually be a remake too.
John Carpenter's The Thing was a remake even.
Yep.
But we got what is this? Diamond Lake.
That's right, not Crystal Lake, my hometown. True story, I was born and raised in Crystal Lake, Illinois.
True story indeed.
And anytime you go out of town and tell people that, they're always immediately like, oh, you like that movie? I'm like, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
Just be completely oblivious.
Yeah.
Do you think this is a reference to Jaws?
I thought it was a reference to Katy Perry's Super Bowl halftime performance.
Ah, classic Left Shark.
Yeah, probably Jaws. Alright, here we go, Fork Boss.
Yeah, I don't even know what this is alluding to. I think it might just be its own thing, but whatever it is, it's you gotta 6 cycle it, otherwise it's just a frustrating moment.
Yeah, a game full of references. This one may or may not be, but it is the best boss.
You think so?
I think it's the most fun. I like it the most.
I don't know. The light kind of tickles my eyes, so it really disrupts my viewing pleasure. But I just like the silliness of the idea.
What, the fork?
Yes.
All right, so looks like we are in. See, this is Diamond Lake, so this is still going to be like, Diamond Lake Camp. So I think it's still a Jason reference.
I don't know. I always like to say it's Sleepaway Camp.
Well, it could be that too. I haven't seen that one in a very long time.
Wait till you get to the twist ending. But oh my goodness, this water part, I remember when I first played it, I thought, oh well, I guess this is where I die. But nope, you just got to keep going.
Yeah, there's that one tricky jump in the middle. Oh, ouch, man. Nirm just getting hosed in that water part and then by the ghouls right after. You better be careful. Down to one hit. Clipped into a log there.
That was really, really close. He clipped into a part where he should have taken damage.
Yeah, this could be detrimental for Nirm here. Really tricky to get through this.
D-pad just putting on a clinic with this area. Look at that.
Ouch. So I think you actually take the. Oh, that looked like that was a good intentional death from Nirm. Get your life refilled, and he'll be in good shape for the werewolf.
In the grand scheme of things, yeah, that was a smart death.
Well, that pit's right there, so it's not any serious backtracking at all.
And neither of them went for Buckethead strats.
Yeah, Nirm had the refill, didn't need the extra health, and D-pad apparently is confident enough, had enough health, so no need. Especially because you get all the cheeseburgers in this next section. It doesn't matter if you finish that boss at 0 health.
Cheeseburger, cheeseburger, cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger indeed. But yeah, with that intentional death, a little bit of a backstep for Nirm. So D-pad Danny is in the lead. Not by a ton, maybe about 5 seconds. So another lead change here.
Yeah, still a pretty commanding lead as long as they keep up the pace, which it seems like they at this point they really both know the game as well as I think they are. It's just a matter of nailing it down.
Yeah, that's right. There's nothing. It's all coming down to execution and maybe a little bit of luck in the RNG.
Execution. I like what you did there.
Well, D-pad making it into the haunted house, a little bit over 14 minutes. It's a decent pace, not enough for a sub 18, but he's doing all right.
Could cut it close. You never know. Both seem to really know their way around this level. We got dueling pumpkins here, or pumpkins. Sorry.
Yeah, they both skipped the door. They didn't want to do the whole Egypt fight.
You really got to lock these chainsaws in place so that they both comply to your whims. Otherwise, like look at that on the right-hand side when they separated for Nirm. No, that's just really frustrating.
Yeah. You think that's a Evil Dead reference with the chainsaws? Or is that just my mind doing that?
I think it might be just a little too far removed. I mean, if there was like maybe a severed arm attached to it, then it's like, I get it.
Well, there are those hands that throw the plates, which happens in that movie too.
Oh yeah, the evil hand, or I don't even know if it has a name.
I think it's just Ash's hand.
Passing the clock touching room, going to what I like to call the go room, because you just go.
A few of the tricky areas here. I'm sure these guys both know the ghoul strategies. Yep. I learned that from watching Coach Crab. D-pad executes it perfectly, and let's see if Nirm can do the same.
I gotta admit, I learned it from watching Coach Crab too. Slash, slash, jump slash, slash, in the door.
Niram just took one little hit there. D-pad didn't need any soda, and neither does Niram. So it looks like about a 10-second lead, and we are into the pumpkin fight.
Yeah, D-pad Danny's already got a couple of hits on Pumpkin Boss, so now it's just a matter of can they both execute this boss perfectly.
Yeah, D-pad's about 2 hits ahead. I hope everybody in chat is counting. Should have made that a thing since the beginning of this.
Oh, I've already lost count as to how many times they've actually hit each other.
It's something about this fight is when it starts, your brain just kind of shuts off and you don't really know who's doing what or where they are as far as hits are concerned. At least that's what I've seen.
Yeah, some like trying to focus on both screens, let alone 4 screens at once. Just trying to figure out who is where in the cycles.
If you know it well enough, you can tell by the location that the Pumpkinhead spawns in, because I do know that the 16th spawn is going to be on the right side of the screen, and right before that, I think 14 and 15 are kind of middle center, pretty close to the center.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was maybe not recently, but within the past week or so, wasn't it that people have figured out that the spawns are actually pre-planned?
Yeah, I'm not sure when that happened. I think I heard BGT talk about that, like, right when we started running the game. But I might be wrong.
It's something I personally never really pay that much attention to because, I don't know, I like to keep up my improvisational skills by kind of sticking to just reactionary, but, you know, maybe that's just me.
Yeah, I do the same. So that right side spawn, D-pad Danny does get in that final hit, and looks like he's going to be the winner. Niram's probably down to his last hit right here.
Yeah, GG to D-pad Danny, and just as I say that, GG to Niram. Very close.
Yeah, good race. Tons of lead changes in there. A lot of little stuff going right. If we're going to have to chalk it up to one thing, it was probably that intentional death that Niram had to do. Yeah, unfortunately a little bit 20 seconds slower. So D-pad Danny is your winner. He is going to advance to the bracket round. And I don't know if we know who he faces yet, but he'll face one of the other guys that are in the group Jason, I believe. And Niram down to the 4-way relegation race. He will go from the upper, what do we call that? The reservoir?
The reservoir. There's the upper deck.
Into
there's
the bowl.
the bowl. Maybe you get filled to the bowl.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's like, you know, clean water.
Well, anyway, this was a very exciting race. I could barely contain my excitement with all the lead changes, as you can hear in my voice. And it was actually, this was very good. This is the kind of race we like to see. Lead changes, you know, some new tactics, and just unsure of who's going to win in the end.
Yeah, so if you want to win a race, just don't reset at the beginning. Just go.
There you go. You heard from Buzz Thunder himself. You got anything else to say? I mean, the only thing I got left to say is, that's all the marbles, Buzz.
All right, thanks for calling it with me, Gid. Let's throw it on back to Hans up in the studio. Take it away, Hans.
And as you saw, it will be D-pad Danny moving on. He'll be taking on Unos XX in the first round of the brackets. Niram with Bent Glass Tube, Dark Magician 1-1, 84, and Link 7s are in the 4-way relegation race for the upper deck. And you will see the first round of the brackets next week for the upper deck and the bowl. And join us Friday night where we'll have the first round of the Cesspool brackets. And thank yous go out to the following people who put their stank on this week's episodes. And make sure you join us for the first round matches in the Cesspool brackets, Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. I am Hans Buttface, and we'll see you then. Knob.